Okay, our today's discussion is on the module of physics. Yesterday, in the last lecture, we were discussing about the rotational kinematics and dynamics, the part one, and this is the second part. In this one, we will discuss about the moment of inertia and torque, rotational variables, and the Newton's second law. And we will also discuss the angular momentum, and we will see how the conservation of the angular momentum. This is our today's topic. What is the moment of inertia? The moment of inertia of a rigid body is a quantity that determines the torque needed for a desired angular acceleration about a rotational axis. This is the definition of the moment of inertia. What is the torque? We will be discussing in the next part. Okay? But in the case of the, suppose there is a point, so for a small point from a distance of r, how do we calculate the moment of inertia, which is represented by I is equal to mass multiplied by the radius square. This is the case to calculate the moment of inertia in the case of a point. In the case of a hollow cylinder, the moment of inertia is calculated by mass multiplied by the radius square. In the case of the solid cylinder, the moment of inertia is calculated by half the mass multiplied by the radius square. And in the case of the solid sphere, the moment of inertia is calculated by 2 divided by 5 multiplied by the mass and then the radius square. This is the definitions are there, and this one is uh, here is also some formulas for the moment of inertia about the rod and the rod with the end. So this is the particular cases. Here we just mention I means the moment of inertia, m means the mass, r means the radius, and l means the length in the case of the rod. So these formulas we will be using in the next examples when we will go. So at this page what we learn, what is the moment of inertia. In the next page we will be looking for the torque. What is a torque? A torque is a measure of the force that can cause an object to rotate about an axis. Okay. Suppose this is the pivot point and somebody is applying the force. So when the somebody is applying the force, then we call it a torque. Torque is applied. Torque is the measurement of the force applied that can cause an object to rotate. So this force will be rotating this particular rod. Okay. Just as force is the causes an object to accelerate in the linear kinematics, torque is that causes an object to acquire angular acceleration. So force will move in one direction, torque will be rotating it. Okay. This is a good example that we will be discussing. It is a lengthy example, but we should understand that suppose there are two children are sitting. One is the lighter boy and the other is the heavy girl. So two children shown in the figure are balanced on a seesaw. They are sitting on a seesaw of a negligible mass. We are just ignoring the mass of the seesaw. The first child has a mass of 26 kilogram. Suppose one child, the mass over here we can see the mass is equal to 26 kilogram and 6, and the child is sitting 1.6 meters. So r1 is 1.6 and also the mass is given, which is 26 kg from this central point of the pivot. So the second child mass, this big girl, is the 32 kg. So the boy is 26 kg, the girl is 32 kg. The boy is sitting at a distance from the hinge 1.6 meter. Then we need to find out the sum of the values in this one. So because the seesaw is on a hinge, so there will be a force will be applied on this one, and then the weight of the two is going in the downward direction, and this is the force to support the particular seesaw. So what we will be calculating here, if the second child has a mass of 32 kg, as we mentioned over here, how far the child is sitting from the pivot. So we are given values are that the mass of this child is 26 kg, the mass of the second child is 32 kg. This particular child is sitting at a distance of 1.6 meter. We need to find out what is the value of the R2. This is our question. And then we come to the next one, but let's go to the this particular question. The strategy how we will be solving this question is mentioned over here, but I will go directly to the question. So you see, the three external forces acting on the system are the weight of the two children. Those are in the downward direction, and the surrounding force of the pivot. The supporting force of the pivot. Let us examine the torque produced by each. So what is the definition? Because it is a rotational environment where the children are sitting on the seesaw. So this is the pivot. So this is a rotational area. Okay. So now we come back to the question. So the torque is defined by the radius, the force, and the sine theta. Okay. But here the theta is 90 degree. So that the sine theta is equal to 1. So therefore our torque is equal to the radius. Radius. Okay. Radius multiplied by force. Now force is the weight. Because this particular case it is the weight. So this is for the first child, torque is equal to radius of the first child and then the weight, and then the second torque is equal to R2 and the weight, the radius where the child is sitting from the pivot and then the weight. But because the second child, the big girl, is moving the things in the clockwise direction, therefore we put the value in the okay minus, and anti-clockwise in the last lecture we discussed will be plus, and then clockwise will be minus. So this is the second one, and the third is the force over here with the pivot. So let's go to the R1 and the R2. Okay, so what is the torque? Because this seesaw is in the balancing position, therefore the torque of the two are equal. Now we can find out from here that the torque is equal to radius, the weight. So this is the R1 multiplied by the W1, the weight of the first one, is equal to the R2 and the W2. So this is our equation. Now we need to find out what is the value the R2, the radius of the second one. So now the R2 multiplied by how we calculate the weight. This is the mass of the second child and the gravity value. And this is the mass of the first child and the gravity value. So what is the value of the R2 becomes? R2 is equal to, therefore is equal to R1 and the mass 1 divided by the M2. This will be the our final equation to find out the distance from the pivot to the girl which is sitting. We put the values, all the values are known to us. What is the distance of the first child from the pivot is 1.6 meter. What is the weight of the first child? It is 26 kg. What is the weight of the second child? It is 32 kg. So when we divide it, we got the value of the 1.3 meter. Okay, so 1.3 meter is the distance. This child, second child, is sitting 1.3 meter, and the first one is sitting 1.6 meter. 1.6 meter. You can see this because the child is heavier. So naturally, the this child is sitting much closer to the pivot so that the seesaw will be in balance. Because this weight is less, so the distance is more, so that the torque will be generated will be the same. Let's go to this point. So this is the equation R2. This is the value calculated. Okay. As we can read also, as expected, the heavier child must sit closer to the pivot, 1.3 meter versus 1.6 by the second child to balance the seesaw. This is a very good example for the calculation of the torque. Now in the second part, what we are doing? What is the force? The supporting force exerted by the pivot. So let's see the diagram first. What is the supporting force? This is the supporting force on the pivot so that it can support it. So this is balanced by the weight of the first child and the weight of the second child. The sum of the weight of the two children will be must be equal to this particular force, because this is in the y-axis, so they must be equal. So we will go with the assumption that the FP will be equal to the W1 plus the W2. Let's go to the question again. Okay. So here we will see that now we will go for it that the force of the pivot will be equal to the weight of the first child and the weight of the second child. How do we calculate the weight? We remember the mass of the first child and the gravity, and the mass of the second child and the gravity. So we put just the values. Mass of the first child was 26 kg, gravity is 9.8 meter per second square, and the second child was 32 kg. This is the value of the G. So the force that is needed, that will be the at the pivot will be 568 newtons. So this is quite a classical case to discuss. I think now that this is the discussion how we solve what we come out from here. So please just read it. Okay. Now we will discuss about the rotational variables. So far we have discussed. Okay. So if it is a displacement variable, if it is angular, it is represented by the theta, which is equal to the arc, the distance of the arc and the radius. Okay. So this is in the case of the, okay, angular and the transactional case, this is the case velocity. Okay, and then the variable is the velocity. Here we say, you remember that it was the angular velocity is equal to the velocity divided by the radius, and then the angular acceleration is divided by the linear acceleration divided by r. It is clear here. In some places, in some of our lectures, we define the linear placement by the delta x, where it is delta x or delta s. In the case of the curve, we are replacing it by this one. So these are the some units we will mention. S is the displacement, r is the radius we discussed, t is the time, v is the velocity, and you theta, w, and the alpha, they are in the case of the angular we discussed in the last lecture. Now we go to the next one. Now we discuss what is the Newton's second law. Okay, so the second law of the Newton states that the acceleration of an object is dependent upon two variables, that the net force acting upon the object and the mass of the object. Okay, so this is a very good example of the one. We will say that a free body diagram is a diagram that represents the objects and the force. In this case, so you will see what is the force is applied. The force is applied. One person is applying a force of 275 Newton. The second is applying 395. So two are applying the force, and it will be the then the opposite force is the 560 over here. Okay. So now this is the weight of this one, and this is the one. So the car will be moving. So this particular diagram we call the free body diagram. What is the angular momentum? Angular momentum is the rotational equivalent of the linear momentum. Angular momentum is the rotational momentum of the linear momentum. So you see, in this one we will say what is the linear momentum. Linear momentum is equal to, this particular one is the linear momentum. If we are representing the linear momentum by p, then it is equal to the mass multiplied by the velocity. So the linear momentum p is equal to the mass of the object and the velocity. But what about the angular momentum? Angular momentum is represented by L, and it is equal to the moment of inertia multiplied by the angular velocity. So now we should remember these two formulas, that angular momentum is equal to the moment of inertia multiplied the angular velocity, and the linear momentum is equal to the mass of the object and then the velocity. We will remember these things. In this case, they are in the diagram we are just telling this x is the multiplying figure, yeah, and this is a simple diagram we discuss. We will be taking the couple of examples. How do we calculate the angular momentum? So every rotational phenomena has a direct translational analog. It seems quite reasonable then to define the angular momentum. Momentum we just defined in the last diagram. How we define the angular momentum? Angular momentum is the moment of inertia multiplied by the angular velocity. So you see this is the formula we drawn. This equation is an analog to the definition of the linear momentum, as p is equal to mass multiplied by the velocity. The unit of the linear momentum is mass is in kilogram, and then the velocity is meters per second. So the unit for the linear momentum is equal to kilogram meter per second, while the unit for the angular momentum will be equal to the kilogram meter square per second. Clear? As we as we would expect, an object that has a large momentum of movement of inertia, if some object is a large movement of inertia I, such as the earth, has a very large angular momentum also, and also an object that has a large angular velocity, such as a centrifuge, also has a rather large angular momentum. We will be calculating the momentum values in the next example. This is a very simple example. Calculate the angular momentum of the earth. In this question, you see no data has been given. We are just want to find out what is the angular momentum of the earth. So what is the angular momentum? Angular momentum is equal to the moment of inertia multiplied by the angular velocity. So here we are telling that the angular momentum is equal to, this is the formula we saw in the last slides, is equal to the moment of inertia I multiplied by the angular velocity. So we need to put the values in this one. So for this one we will be finding the value of the moment of inertia first. Okay. So the now we know that we can calculate the moment of angular momentum. Okay, first we calculate the angular momentum is equal to, as we discussed also, the moment of inertia multiplied by the angular velocity. So we will go now, I is equal to, in the case of this, okay, given in the slide number 2, we already given how to find out the moment of inertia of different shapes. So the shape for the sphere, the moment of inertia is calculated by 2 by 5 multiplied by mass multiplied by the radius square. This we have this for the different shapes. We have given the formula for calculating the moment of inertia in the slide number 2. So if we go back to the slide number 2, you can find out number of objects. The formula for the number of objects has been given. So in the case of this particular sphere, in the case of the sphere, I will maybe highlight this. Okay. So in the case of the sphere, the moment of inertia, this is the formula. Okay. Now we will go further. So if we put this value inside our equation, that the angular momentum is equal to moment of inertia multiplied by the angular velocity. So now we have all the values. So we will replacing the value of the, I will go back here so that the arrow will come here. I will go back further. Okay, and then I want to put it back to the arrow. So this is the shape. So in the I, what is the value of the I? We are replacing this I value over here, 2 by 5 mass multiplied by the radius square, and we will be multiplying it by the W. So these are the values. We know the values here. Earth mass is equal to, we can find out, 5.979 10 to the power 24 kilogram. This is the mass of the earth, and its radius, the radius of the earth is 6.376 10 to the power 6 meter. This is the radius of the earth. This is the mass of the earth. Okay, so the earth angular velocity is, of course, we already know that the earth rotate in 1 day, one revolution in 1 day. So all the values are available. Mass is equal to this value, radius is equal to this value, and then the angular velocity is equal to the one revolution per day. So we will be putting the values in the equation, and we will find out the angular momentum of the earth. So we come back over here. We'll see 2 by 5. We already see this is our mass of the earth. This is the radius of the earth and the square and the one revolution per day. So this the answer. When we multiply these values, we come up with this answer, that the moment angular momentum of the earth is equal to 9.72 10 to the power 37 kilogram meter square and the revolution per day. But we want to change it. Okay, in the not in the revolution. So substitute the 2 pi radian for the revolution. You remember, one revolution is equal to 2 pi. We already know, and the itne is the value for 1 day given. These are the number of seconds in 24 hours. So 8.64 10 to the power 4 are the seconds. These are the seconds. I will highlight this one also. So this is the seconds in a day. 1 day seconds are available, and also the you see that 2 pi is equal to the one revolution. This is the one. I will come back here and I want to put my arrow also this one. So we will put the values over here, and all the values are known now. Okay, so we can put those values over here and we can get the answer to the equal to the 7.07 10 to the power 33 kilogram meter square per second. Okay, this number is very large. Why? Because the earth is a very large object. Okay, demonstrating that the earth as expected has a tremendous angular momentum. It's a very high value. The answer is approximate because we have assumed a constant velocity for the earth. Okay, constant density in the earth. Velocity is of course constant. The density we assume is constant, whereas it is varies. But in the just for simplicity, we assume that it is constant. And for the earth, in order to estimate the moment of energy, moment of inertia. So we learn how do we calculate the moment of inertia. I will be repeating the formula that the angular moment of inertia is equal to the moment of inertia. Angular momentum is equal to the moment of inertia multiplied the angular velocity. We use this formula and we calculate the angular moment of inertia of the earth. Now this is another example to find out the velocity, torque, and all those topics we are discussing today. So the in this figure we have a shape, and in this particular food tray, some food is available on our food table, and we want to rotate it just to bring the food that we are interested to take. Okay. So now I will read the question. This figure shows, as I said, a food tray being rotated by a person. So the person is rotating is the person will put the force, and so that this disc will rotate. Okay. So the person is exerting, assume we are the person is exerting a 2.5 2.8 force. Okay, so this is the force exerted by the person perpendicular to the tray, and the radius of this, okay, radius of this particular tray has been mentioned, 0.6 meter radius, and the force is applied for a period of 0.15 seconds. So now we will be calculating some of the values. So what is the final angular momentum? This is a small last one. When we calculate the angular momentum for the earth, it was a very big amount. This is now a simple case in which the angular momentum of this particular case of the lazy Susan tray, if it starts from the rest, we are assuming when the person applied the force, initially it was stopped, and then the person wanted specific food, so the person actually rotated. Okay, we are assuming the friction is negligible, where is always there is some friction is there. So we will be calculating first the angular momentum. Then let's see, solve the first question, then we come back to the next one. Okay, what is the strategy? I will just mention over here. So just read it, and the formula that we will be using is that the angular momentum is equal to moment of inertia multiplied by the angular velocity. This is what we will be using the formula to find out. So this is the solution for the number one case. Yeah, what is the angular momentum, final angular momentum of this particular tray? So we already know that the delta L is the change of the angular momentum is equal to the change of the torque. This is the formula of the torque. Net torque is equal to the the, the change in the momentum divided by the change in the time for the del. So therefore the formula has been changed. So therefore net torque multiplied depending on the time is equal to the angular momentum. So we will put the values in this equation and we will find out that we already learned that the torque is equal to the radius multiplied by the force. by the force. So we will put it over the values in the formula. So L is equal to radius multiplied by the force and then the time it we applied. So we already know the radius of this tray is 0.6 meter, and then the force the person is applying is 2.5 newtons, and the time the person applied the force is 0.15 second. So we put the values over here, and the answer come out to be 9.75 to the power, and then the 10 to the power of minus 2 kilogram meter square per second. Okay, so this is the answer for the first question, that what is the angular momentum at the time when when 0.15 second finished. Okay, and then the next question, in the next question we see what is the final angular velocity. Now once we calculate the angular momentum, now we are trying to find out what is the angular velocity of this tray, given that the mass of the tray is 4 kg. We already know the equation, that the angular momentum is equal to the moment of inertia multiplied by the angular velocity, and our requirement in this one to find out the angular velocity. Okay, so angular velocity. Okay, so angular velocity is equal to the angular momentum divided by the moment of inertia. So we will put values over here. Okay, what is the value of the I? The moment of inertia. This is equal moment of inertia of a disk. So first of all, we need a formula to find out what is the moment of inertia. Okay, what is the moment of inertia for the disk? This is the formula. For a disk, the moment of inertia is half multiplied by the mass multiplied by the radius square. And in the slide number 2, as I was telling you, we have given the different formulas for calculating the moment of inertia for the different shapes. So I calculated the value from there. In the last example, we solved it for, in the case of the earth, we calculated for the sphere. Now it is a disk. So the formula of the moment of inertia has been changed. We put the values in this equation and we came up with the 0.721 radians per second is the angular velocity. We already, you can see over here that the value of L we already know, we already calculated in the last one. Okay, 9.75 10 to the power minus 2 kilograms. So this is the value of the L we have, and we divided by the, this is the one we divided half, this is 0.5, and the mass of the mass is given for this tray, it is equal to 4 kg, and the radius is also given 0.26 meter. Okay, and we square it, and this is the answer is coming 0.721 radians. Okay. Okay, so this is one of the example was there. We have given 3 examples in this case. I have made 3 questions. I discussed 3 examples, and related to two of the questions I made some changes in the data. So I will request you to solve these particular cases and find out the answer. Thank you very much.